Hey everybody. Today we want to talk a little more about the child of God identity and its two component parts. Both are important to understand in order to reach our full potential. They are, first, the biological aspect of the child of God identity, and this is by far the most common aspect that we sing about and probably even think about when we hear the term. And the second aspect of the child of God identity is the emulative aspect that we must come to assume for ourselves. The biological aspect of our divine identity refers to our spirits being literally created by divine Heavenly Father and Mother. As literal spirit offspring of deity, it completely changes our understanding of our past. We were not created ex nihilo, nor willed into existence. If this were so, the great questions of life relative to our purpose, God's nature, the nature of mankind, the existence of evil, and what happens after death would still remain. Instead, we know that there's part of us that is co-eternal with God, that has existed separate from Him, with the capacity to choose and be enlarged. Through the exercise of His power, God extended to us the opportunity to enter into a parental-child relationship with Him and receive spiritual bodies, created after His image. This we chose to do with the promise of receiving a future physical body fashioned after God's image and likeness, which could be eternally joined with our spiritual bodies through the redemption of Jesus Christ and glorified by obedience to the laws and ordinances of His gospel. In this way, our Heavenly Father provided a path where we could become like Him. This is what we mean by the biologic aspect of our child of God identity. The second part of the child of God identity is emulative, meaning it can be assumed by emulating in principles which God possesses. God has outlined a path for each of His spirit children to choose to assume it for themselves. The child of God identity is assumed more fully as we conform our lives to the values, beliefs, and behaviors of Jesus Christ. It is a process of acknowledging His command to become even as He is, by doing His works and acquiring His mind. Through this process, we assume a resurrected body of glory, which corresponds to the degree which we have assumed the power of godliness in our lives. If you love this content, please be sure to follow us on our social media channels, The Power of Godliness, and on YouTube at The Power of Godliness.